if we receive those labels of being a high performer, smart, talented, etc., either before or after a given task or game or exam, it still has a detrimental effect in both cases. Meaning, you tell someone heading into something, you're a great athlete, you are so smart, you're going to do so well on this exam. You undermine their performance. Or if they take the exam and afterwards, before you see their scores or even after they score, let's say they get an A+, they get everything perfect, and you say, you are so smart, you are so talented, you are undermining their performance on the next exam. That's how striking these results are. And again, they've been shown again and again in different populations of students and adults. Conversely, it's striking how powerful the effort labels can be at improving performance. Conversely, and fortunately, the same is true for effort-based praise. So if before a kid or adult heads into a competition or exam, or preparation for a competition and exam, you say, you know what, I know you to be a really dedicated worker. You really persist. You know how to do hard things. You really dig your heels when it gets hard and you overcome challenges. If you do that before that child or adult heads into challenge, they will perform better. And if after an exam or performance or practice, whatever the effort happens to be, you tell them, you really worked hard. I love the way that even when, you got kicked in the shin and you're limping along there and you're hurt, you continued to play. Or even when, everyone else went to sleep and you continued to study. Although, by the way, I do encourage people to get enough sleep. There are times in which, let's face it, the person who stays up latest studying, provided they get enough sleep, they're getting the extra hours in, right? I might have been that kid in college or tried to be that kid in college. If you reward effort after the effort, you also set the mind, the brain of that child or adult up to provide more effort to future endeavors. So it's very clear. It doesn't matter if the timing of the praise comes before or after a given bout of effort or performance. You give identity praise before, performance diminishes. You give identity praise after, subsequent performance diminishes. You give effort praise before, performance goes up. You give effort praise after, performance goes up. So I know I sound a little bit like a broken record, but we hear so often about growth mindset, about giving the right form of praise, but it's not often that we are told when to give that praise. And the short answer, of course, is doesn't matter. In fact, we should always be striving to give others and ourselves praise that is correctly attached to genuine effort. And that word correctly is important here. I'm not saying, take a kid who performed poorly on an exam because they kind of loafed, or the kid that was just shuffling their feet out on the soccer field and say, hey, great, you worked so hard when they didn't. We know when we're being lied to or when we're lying to ourselves. But that should give you a sense of control, not a sense of lack of control, because ultimately, effort is something that we can control. In fact, whenever I hear the term control what you can control, I get a little bit nauseated and a little bit irritated too, because it's never clear what people are referring to when they say control what you can control, focus on what you can control. What's the thing that we all really can control? It's our level of persistence and our level of effort. And of course, we all have different circumstances such that persistence and effort can be harder in certain circumstances and for certain people, certainly. But at the end of the day, at the end of the year, and at the end of our life, really the only thing that you really truly can control is where you place your attention and where you place your effort. Those are the two things that are really inherent to you and your nervous system. No one can do the effort for us. No one can direct our attention for us. Things and people can try and divert or distract our attention and our effort, but ultimately effort and attention, that is intrinsic motivation, come, as the name suggests, directly from us.